Cheers, everyone. Happy Friday. This is All in the Charts. I am CBG. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment. Click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. Welcome in, guys. Hope everyone is concluding their work week in a good way here on a Friday. We're going to break things down real quickly here, kind of going into the weekend, what to look for. Of course, as always, now that you know I'm back full-time here on YouTube doing All in the Charts, if there are any exciting closes in terms of price action, whether it's something extremely volatile to the up or downside, you can Sunday at roughly 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if it makes sense. With that being said, what I wanted to do real quick on this Friday live stream, I really quick wanted to just run through a couple charts and kind of set you up with key things I'm going to be watching for going into the weekend. Of course, it's not surprising to see some bounce within the market. So really what we need to ask ourselves is this a dead cat bounce, or is this something potentially more significant? So with that being said, let's get into things here. So I'll explain the blue bars pattern that I have laid out. But as you can see right now on the 12-hour time frame, we're getting some strong reaction to the upside right now, really pushing above this 200 simple moving average, which is great to see. Where would I like to see prices close today? Okay, so when you see prices close out today going into the weekend, I would love to see closing right at or above 61,800. As you will recall, while I had that time period where I was off of All in the Charts, I was updating you guys on Twitter, if you're following me on there, and I have a couple posts speaking of the fact that price action was just chipping and chopping between $62,000 and $72,000. Okay, so since then, okay, we've had this slight deviation here, right? And quite oftentimes when we're in a bullish environment, something else I've spoken to is quite often Bitcoin and other crypto projects as well, what will happen is it will create a range of expectation, right? So price is kind of chipping and chopping in a range. And then what happens is Bitcoin will temporarily deviate from that range and fake people out. If I had to lean in any direction here, if this was a fake out, making everyone screaming for much lower prices versus us actually seeing much lower prices, my vote would be for the former. Okay, my educated view would be this is a bit of a fake out to the downside, getting below our range. We basically broke down below the range, deviated from it, have gotten a lot of people bearish, which is kind of comical given everything I've shared with you this week, in particular 2 days ago. And now we're pressing up above 61.8, right? So really what I'd like to see today is holding 61.8. And really that matter for the week. I mean, we can quick flip to the week here, but chances are I'm going to have the same commentary for you on the weekly. So if we quick check out the Bitcoin weekly, I am going to have a brief interruption here at some point, just to kind of keep you guys current. I'm going to have to step away from the computer probably for just a few minutes. But if we look at the weekly here, I mean, really where would I like to see prices close? I had a better chart up. I had a different chart. I mean, maybe this chart lays it out. It does. Okay. So I just want to focus on price action. And if we move this out of the way for the moment and we delete this, what you really want to see, I'm afraid to do that actually. Guys, do any of you want to come on board and work for CBG and clean up my charts on TradingView? Because that's really what I need right now. I have way too many charts in TradingView, and it's kind of hard for me to stay current on what's here. Okay, let me take off a lot of the noise from this chart. Let's take a look at a weekly view, what I'd like you guys to hone in on for the week here. Okay, let's get off all these bars patterns here. Apologies. Okay, so really I have a couple key areas kind of laid out on this chart here. And so one thing I want to quickly speak to. Now, this is a weekly chart, right? So this candlestick that's shown right here, this is not going to print until Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, with that being said, it's very encouraging to see the shape of this candlestick. Guys, if this body turns green, this is going to be a huge bullish candle. I don't know the name of it. I don't know if it's going to turn out to be a dragonfly doji, which it could end up being. I don't know what this thing's going to turn into. We'll have to give it a chance to play out. But if this thing turns, I believe it's a thin green body. I'll have to check the name. Pretty sure though. Green, it's a dragonfly, green dragonfly doji candle, and what that represents is a strong trend reversal back to the upside. Now, just because I'm at the moment having a brain fart, I'm pretty sure it's a green dragonfly doji. I am really sorry. I'm having a brain fart right now. The key thing is to look at the formation of the candlestick and discern what it's telling us. What it's telling us is that's the most important thing. You can see there is a huge wick down here. So price came all the way down here. There's seller exhaustion. Buyers are buying the fuck out of the price, okay? And that's what leads to the recovery here. So anything at these relative levels, if we close anywhere around, where are we at right now? We're at 62.8. We're that high. Wow. I'm seeing a lot of bullish momentum come in here. Good to see. Anything around the 61 to 62,000 area is going to be a huge plus for us to close out the week. What it's also going to do is, some of these price indicators I've been speaking to, it's going to cause this RSI to get closer to getting back above 70, which would be great. This histogram is going to look a hell of a lot better on the MACD, and you're also going to get the stochastic RSI, which is a really monumental indicator on the weekly that you want to watch for. It's going to result in that thing flattening out and potentially crossing back up. We want to see that thing get back above 20. This week's a big week. Now, I've told you guys with that bearish engulfing candle on the monthly that we spoke to on Bitcoin, this is going to be a pivotal month for us, because this month, what I was aiming to explain to you, it's not that this month is going to tell us if the bull market is over or not. That's not what I was saying. What I'm saying is this is going to be a pivotal month to tell us if we're still in the camp where we can expect potentially a blow off top a lot sooner than people are thinking, or if this month comes in really bearish, which I'm not anticipating. This could, this bull run really could extend a little bit further than I was anticipating. So we'll really have to keep an eye on prices. But again, I'm anticipating this month to not be a sell in May, go away event. So we'll have to, one moment please, we'll have to. Apologies, I'm going to have to step away from the computer. But this is going to be a pivotal week for us. But by all means, kind of checking out the price here, and I have 60,000 kind of laid out here. Anything, really, if we can get a close on the weekly, I would say anything between looking at the weekly here, getting above and staying above the psychological area at 60,000 will be, I think, a really something really pivotal that we should look for on the weekly close. But really, I'd love to see 61 to 62. And again, noting that the range that I've been speaking to is Bitcoin chopping in and out of 62 to 72. That's the real range that I want to focus on. Now, what the hell is up with this bars pattern, right? Why do I have this blue bars pattern in here? So I'll explain to you what I did and what I'm attempting to show here. Because I don't want you to take away from this. This is the exact price movement that I'm expecting. That's not the point of this, okay? The whole point is when we saw a slight range deviation, okay? When we saw a slight range deviation back here in January of this year, okay, what we noted was, remember, I've shared with you guys, if you guys have been here for a while, I keep hammering home on the 12-hour chart. It's such a historically significant chart that not enough people pay attention to. And I've told you guys that when we are in the midst of a true bull run, it is true that price does like to come down often and touch this 200 simple moving average on the 12-hour, but we don't. It is very rare for us to deviate significantly from the 200. If we start deviating significantly from the 200, that is a huge warning sign to us. Note that the last time we came down to the 200 simple moving average, we bounced right off this motherfucker and we kept resuming up. So what I was attempting to show you guys, what I'm attempting to illustrate is, because remember I said, just like that, market conditions can change in crypto. How many times have I echoed the same sentiment on this channel that things quickly flip on a dime, from bullish to bearish, right? So just as everybody is thinking, oh, la-di-da, Bitcoin's going down to 48, 52,000, you suddenly see, what are we at, a 7% move here? We're at a 7% move on Bitcoin nearly, okay? Hold that thought real quick. I'll be back in one moment. Thanks, guys. So here's the point of this, right? When we take into account that we had a slight range deviation here, we've had a slight range deviation here. What I'm attempting to illustrate to you, okay, if we do something similar to what took place in the past, we could expect a recovery to occur this quickly. And I really want you to take a look at this for me. I'm not telling you Bitcoin's going to be up towards $80,000 by the end of May. That's not what I'm telling you. What I am telling you, though, is that if we get a recovery in relative fashion here, as we did here, in terms of how quickly we turned from 38, 39, all the way up to 75, okay, we could see a quick recovery from 58, and by June, okay, by late June, maybe it's July, maybe it's August, okay? Give or take a couple months here, okay? This isn't meant to be a precise date. I'm attempting to explain to you just how quickly price could recover and be up at $100,000 plus on Bitcoin, okay? This is how quickly this market can move. And the novice, I wouldn't even call them an investor, but the novice person who is in this space throwing money at projects and not understanding what they're doing, or even somebody who's attempting to invest in this market because, you know, they heard from a friend that it's a good space to get into and they could make money in the market. People that don't know what they're doing get weeded out by this price action, right? We retained price action between 72 and 62. All of a sudden, we get a small range deviation where we go down to 56.5, and I spoke to 58. So, you know, whether it's 58, 56.5, we had a small range deviation from where we're at, and people all of a sudden are just turning mega bearish. And there's a part of me that doesn't understand it and never will, and there's a part of me that really does understand it. I don't know if that makes sense, but part of me definitely understands it. Part of me will never be able to explain it. It's just human emotions. I tell you guys, emotions are a money killer, okay? So we're seeing some, you know, significant price action up in Bitcoin. I've given you the key levels to watch for here. If we do get some sort of a recovery here, again, rough expectations, you know, if this is the beginning of a true recovery, we could see some initial, this is going to be a heavy resistance zone, okay, guys? Heavy resistance zone in here, upwards of 65,500, 600, okay? So it wouldn't surprise me one bit to see a bit of a rejection in this zone somewhere between $63,000 to $66,000. A rollover, okay, to touch, to touch or get real close to the 200 simple moving average around $60,000. So basically, Wouldn't shock me one bit to see some sort of a recovery up here, a rejection, and then the second or maybe even the third time we finally push above this $65,000 area and continue onwards. Now keep in mind, it's not just that when we look left, we have price confluence between 61.8 and 65.6. We now have this 50 simple moving average I've spent time talking about on the 12-hour that's going to act as resistance. You can see it here. Ever since we got candle body closes below here, yes, we temporarily pushed above it here, quickly got rejected, and couldn't get above it, right? So this is going to be a major zone. Now, when you start to see Bitcoin start pressing above and getting candle body closes above the 60, I want to actually see prices get above this prior swing high here. That would put prices at 67. So for me, I'll tell you a price area I would be looking for, and something we will be looking for in the coming days and weeks ahead. By the way, this is a Cali Red. This is it's part of that 19 Crimes line. It's the one with Snoop Dogg on there. Snoop Dogg, dog. Sipping on gin and juice, laid back with my mind on my crypto and my crypto on my mind. That's about the extent of the rapping I can do. All right, let's get back. Let's get back into this lovely technical analysis here. So really, for me, there is also obviously going to be a psychological level at $70,000. But just kind of very quickly assessing the charts here, I'm not getting overly excited until I start to see prices push up towards 68. Okay, once we get to 68. This could be the beginnings of a true recovery here. Now the next test will be that 70 to 72 area. In my opinion, based on where price has continued to gravitate and we couldn't push above, when you begin to see daily closes at and above $72,000, let's fucking go, as Oof has dropped in the comments. By the way, super chats are never expected but always appreciated, my friend Todd. Love it, my friend. Love it. Loving the support. Thank you so much. What else did I want to hit on for Bitcoin? I think that's pretty much all I wanted to hit on for Bitcoin. This weekly close, at the moment, if we can sustain price action, even better if we could close slightly above where we're at, this could be a dragonfly doji and really spell a trend reversal to the upside. So something to keep an eye on. WIF did want to take a quick look at this. Of course, we just spoke to this the other day. This is a big meme coin play, I believe, that's going to play out, and we'll break into the top 20 and do a Shiba Inu type run. I don't think this run is anywhere near finished on WIF, so we'll have to stay updated here on the chart. Of course, this is one I'm invested in, but you can see we're starting to break the downward resistance here. Okay, we're breaking the downward resistance, but for me, I'm not really getting too confident or excited about price until we start pushing above here. Because keep in mind, as we begin to break the descending resistance, what do we like to often do? Bounce off here and continue up, right? So if you're waiting to get in here, you could wait for a bullish confirmation of coming back down at the 280 level, holding that 280 level and buying in there. Another way you could play this if you're looking to get in is if we start to break up towards 330 to 340 and hold it. This area right in here, 330 to 340, once you start to see daily closes above there, I think this thing's going to begin taking off much higher to the upside. Now, I can't understand all of the cynicism and negativity surrounding Caspa, and it's actually been irritating the shit out of me lately, to be quite honest. So, did want to really quickly hit on just the Caspa Solana and Caspa BTC relativity charts for Caspa. Guys, I can understand, I hate to do this, but like I said, I always keep shit real on this channel, so we're going to do it. If you look at the Casper BTC relativity chart, this is Casper. Guys, I get it. If you're in this thing, this is a horrific looking chart. Horrific. Casper has done dick. And it has been the most disappointing project in my portfolio. The absolute most disappointing project in my portfolio. It has done dick. Okay? Let me just be clear. Did I come through on that one? Again, I'm not here to talk about the technological innovation of the project. I'm not here to talk about the team. I'm not saying they're not a great team. I'm not saying potentially 10 years from now this might be a great project. I'm telling you from a purely TA perspective, this chart hasn't done shit, okay? If you're in something that looks like this, where Casper is just bleeding against Bitcoin, I understand why you're upset. Let me ask you a question. What do you see when I come to the Casper BTC relativity chart? Well, let me tell you what I see. I see higher highs and higher lows. Are you not seeing higher highs and higher lows here? I see a low. Okay, so I'm seeing all these motherfucking higher lows. And I'm seeing higher highs. All these motherfucking higher highs. So why are we so upset? Why are we so upset, anyone in the Caspa community who is truly an investor in Caspa? Guys, all we're doing is basing here where we topped out here. This is, I'm sorry, but this is literally basic TA here. I'm not performing magic on the screen here. This is literally basic technical analysis, okay? We literally have come back and we formed a base last time where we topped out on the Caspa BTC relativity chart. I don't see dick on that chart. Apparently dick is the word of the day. I don't see dick on that chart that has me concerned. Now, what else is going on with a relativity chart that we might want to compare to that makes sense? How about Solana? Well, it looks to me, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like we're just ranging in this area here, and this is a strong base. Now, if this base here at this relativity value begins to break down, yeah, I would be concerned. But the question you would have to ask yourself then, is it going to be a range deviation to fake people out like I just spoke to on Bitcoin, or is it something far worse? Okay, but so far on the Caspa Solana relativity chart, all we've done is come back and back tested this area here, and we're literally just fucking ranging. If you want to get weeded out of your position in Caspa and you don't think it's going to do dick this cycle, go for it. Go ahead and sell by all means, but it is my largest altcoin holding for a reason. It is rare that you find something that is strong fundamentally and has some real ties to early Bitcoin days with the people who helped to found and create that project, and you have such a strong technical chart, not just on USD, but on your BTC, Ethereum, and Solana pairings, guys. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. Let's get out of some of these charts so we can... Again, I want this to be a real quick live stream. We're at 22 minutes. I just want to give you a few updates here going into the weekend. Bitcoin dominance, not too much new to update. Let's just focus on price here. This chart, honestly, I'm probably going to have to clean this up a bit. It's getting a little noisy. I mean, we're just, again, talk about chipping and chopping. I mean, this market has ADHD. I think a lot of investors, I don't know, some of this could be driven by the fact that we have young investors in this space who are in their 20s, but there are so many people with ADHD in this market. They needed something to happen yesterday. They just can't be patient. This thing is running out of momentum. I don't know when Bitcoin dominance is going to fall. If you want to believe Peter Brandt's tweets and you want to feed into maybe there never being an altcoin season again, by all means, pay attention to Peter Brandt, who I pay absolutely zero attention to, besides doing the contrarian of what he says within the market, because his track record, if you actually follow his track record in the cryptocurrency space, is not very good, okay? So all this thing is doing is continuing to slowly churn up, but everything we've looked at is saying it's running out of momentum, so we just need to be patient and watch for this to break. Do I think this is going to break relatively soon this summer? Abso-fucking-lutely. So we just need to be patient. Whether it's May it breaks, whether it's June or July it breaks. I think it's going to be happening relatively shortly, all things considered, since we've had this bull run starting in January of 2023, or really I noted November of 2022. Other things that I want you guys to take a look at, I don't really want to focus on altcoins so much. I really want you to go into the week understanding what the relative strength is within the market and where things are likely headed, what to kind of look for, key price points, focused on Bitcoin. And we can take a look at the overall market cap, but that's really where your focus should be, because these altcoins are not going to have their large, I keep saying the same thing. These altcoins are not going to have their large runs up in value, their big ramp up phase, until Bitcoin has stabilized itself and started its huge run up past the $70,000 range into the $80,000 range. That is when you are going to begin seeing your altcoins going ballistic. Now, what do we want to look for on total? Of course, I just spoke. This is the total cryptocurrency market cap on the weekly view here. What did I just say to you guys the other day? Well, I spoke to the 20 simple moving average. I'm not going to regurgitate the same information. You can see we gravitated towards the average price over the past 20 weeks. Not surprising. But we haven't. The thing is, we wicked here, right? We touched it. We don't have a candle body closing here or below here. It's a lot different. When you get these wicks coming in, remember, wicks are just an expression of volatility. Sellers drove this thing down here, but they then became exhausted. They couldn't drive the price down anymore because buyers stepped in and bought it up, right? That's what this long wick to the downside represents. Just like you can get a long wick to the upside, right? So if you see a long wick come into the upside here, trying to see if there's one here. I mean, this isn't really... There's a wick here. So buyers came all the way up here. They got exhausted and sellers drove it down. They came up here, drove it down. So that's what those price wicks are going to represent to you. So what should we look for on the total cryptocurrency market cap? Well, I already told you what to watch for this week, that we didn't want to start closing below this $2 trillion market cap value, which is the 20 simple moving average. But what else can we watch for here? Okay, I'm trying to think why I have this blue line in here. I don't know why the hell this blue line is in here. Why do I have this blue? I never use blue. We're going to make that red. I don't know what was going on there. And I don't like the way that's laid out. I want that right there. Okay. Stochastic RSI is beginning to flatten out, very similar to Bitcoin. We want to watch this week. Here's what I want you to watch for on total. Again, very similar to Bitcoin. Look at I'm going to make this as stupid simple as I can for you. Remember the shape of this weekly candlestick. What did I speak to here? We want this body as thin red as possible or green. If it turns green and we close well above $63,000 this week, we have a dragonfly doji, which is screaming a trend reversal to the upside. Look at the total. The same thing is going on. Perhaps not as thin, but still, we have a rather thin body here, okay, and a long wick. The other thing I'd like to point out to you, and the same thing holds true on Bitcoin, look at how many red weeks we have had. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 5th red week. 5th red week. Wed week? Am I Omer Fudd? This is the 5th wed week in a row. We can't have any more wed weeks. We need a green week. Did you understand that? Look, guys. Look at how many red weeks we have had in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we have our 5th red weekly candle, let's just focus on... I keep bouncing back and forth. Sorry, I got ADHD. I'm the one who has ADHD today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When is the last time we had 5 consecutive red weeks? We had 4 here. 3. I'm struggling. The last time we had 5 consecutive red weeks was depression time, okay, when we had our huge correction in 2022. Prior to that, I mean, you can see, and I'm racing through this pretty quickly. Prior to 2022, on total, guys, look at this. I'm just looking at these green histograms down here. I don't see 5 consecutive red weeks ever. So, wow, was not expecting that. Okay, so 2022 and going all the way back to 18, 17, I don't see anything. So it is a very, here's how I would word this. Having 5 consecutive red weeks in a row on total, and I'm sure the same thing happens to be true on Bitcoin, is a very small, it's an extremely low probability and an extremely low occurrence within this market. Telling us, just based on that fact alone, one, this week could end up turning green. We might get some unexpected green coming in this weekend. The other thing it tells you is there's a pretty high let me restate that. If we use history, there is a very high likelihood, just based on the probability of how many red weeks we get in a row, just using that fact alone, we're going to have a green week next week, right? So if we can get this thing even to close real small red and we can get a green week coming in, we'll have to see how that looks. This is going to be a major area of resistance here coming in at 2.6 right here. This red line right here, I'll make this really stand out. In fact, I'll change the color to be dark red. This 2.6 is going to be a major area, right? But we just want prices to close in relative fashion where they're at right now. So what you want to watch for, here's the easy thing you can do. Pull up coin market cap, even if you don't want to pull up a chart. Sunday, 8 p.m. See if we've closed anywhere in the total cryptocurrency market cap around 2.25 trillion. If we've closed anywhere around 2.25 trillion, we've done a really nice job. Oh, don't want to give a thumbs up in the camera. That brings back nightmares of where I used to work. Oh, God. Let me get to the comments here, guys, and then I'll quickly see if there's anything else I wanted to comment. Nothing on Digibyte, my friend. We need Bitcoin to move. Appreciate the support, 786. Kevin, it wouldn't be a hammer candlestick. It would be a dragonfly doji. Either way, the story of what that candlestick prints is more important. Check out the formation on a hammer candlestick, because it wouldn't be a hammer. A hammer, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but pretty sure the body is green and there's no wick above it. Okay, whereas the dragonfly doji can have a wick above it, and it's green, has a real thin green body and a real deep wick below it. The hammer has a thicker green body with no wick above it for the most part, and a long wick below. Alex, welcome in. Thank you very much. Glad to be back to the normal routine here. Have de-stressed a lot since giving my 2 weeks notice at my former employer. Was in a really, really, really rough situation. Compounded with my physical health, I was not doing well, so I appreciate that. And if you guys haven't noted, I mentioned this yesterday. I have a, let me read this to you in case anyone is interested and you haven't seen this. If you go to my live stream on my YouTube channel, you will see that there is a live stream scheduled for next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the name of that podcast is part of the CBG podcast series. There is Strength in Resilience, exploring resilience in mental health. So the description is, join me for a compelling episode of the CBG podcast live stream as I delve into the profound meaning behind the phrase, there is strength in weakness. I'll uncover how embracing our vulnerabilities can actually build resilience, empower personal growth, and enhance mental wellness. Acknowledging and embracing one's weaknesses can lead to development of new strengths, deeper empathy, and more meaningful connections with others. Essentially, the very areas where we might feel inadequate or exposed can become sources of strength, often by forcing us to adapt, seek help, or rethink our approaches to challenges. We'll discuss strategies for managing stress, combating depression, and maintaining mental health in challenging times. Tune in to gain insights into turning your perceived weaknesses into sources of undeniable strength and resilience. This session is designed to inspire, educate, and empower anyone facing mental health challenges. Guys, I can tell you firsthand from going through what I went through, the topic of mental health is something that's getting increasingly a lot more attention the more we have evolved as human beings. Mental health encompasses a lot, right? It's not people who are mentally ill in a hospital. That's not what I'm talking about. Mental health challenges is a very broad definition and can be there's a sliding scale on that. So I think everyone at some point in their life goes through mental health challenges. So I would encourage you either to tune in live and catch that session next Wednesday or catch it in syndication after it publishes to my channel. Nope, definitely not a girl on the phone. That's not it. I would be transparent if I had something exciting going on, but unfortunately that is not the case. Evening from Norway, welcome in. Thank you for the support, Aaron. Don't know what you mean, Mastiax. I already spoke to Bitcoin. You got to focus on Bitcoin to know what's going on in the market. 786, I appreciate your comments on Caspa. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Fifth wed week in whoa. Frankie, nice, man. Yeah, I don't know. I was Elmer Fudding it out, man. You're welcome, man. You're welcome, Aaron. Guys, again, just coming out here and I'm just interpreting these charts and keeping it stupid simple. I'm not making myself sound more smarter than I am, smarter than I am. I'm just doing some basic technical analysis for you guys. Guys, I'm giving you the most simplistic things to watch for this weekend. I give you key price points to watch for, kind of expectations, relatively speaking, what we could anticipate, and using a fractal, not telling us exactly what we can expect in the timing, but at least drawing the comparison. The last time we had a deviation down to the 200 simple moving average only took a couple months to move from 38, to double in price. There's no reason that we couldn't see something similar and see Bitcoin upwards of $100,000 June, July, August. There's absolutely no reason that can't happen. It's happened too many times before, guys. So understand the best thing that you can do in this market. Ignore those major headlines. Focus on the charts. The charts are going to tell you what is going on. All that news, all that shit, all that human emotion, everything is built into the chart. Do not ignore the charts. And even if you're not a technical analyst at heart, and this isn't the predominant way that you view the chart, much like when Alex came on the live stream from Tactical Investing, and I do want to hook back up with him at some point, what he shared is his primary view, his bread and butter is to focus on the fundamentals. It can only benefit someone like himself to also understand the technicals, right? Just like it benefits myself to not only understand the technicals, but to also understand the fundamentals, which is why I am so friggin' bullish on Caspa. With that being said, guys, enjoy the weekend. What is the expression? Sniff the grass, smell the grass, smoke the grass. I don't know. The point is, get away from your computers a little bit. Get outside, enjoy Mother Nature, get away from all this shit a little bit. The world wasn't falling. The sky wasn't falling when I took a few weeks off. Everything is good to go. If there's any exciting times to be had on Sunday for the weekly close, I will be here. If it's kind of status quo, I won't be live streaming until Monday, but I will be back. Either way, I will be back Monday for All in the Charts Monday through Friday, and then catch that mental health segment on the CBG cast on Wednesday as well. I'll be live streaming twice on Wednesday, so a lot going down on Wednesday. Until next time, everybody, which will probably be Monday. You never know, Sunday. Until next time, let's all spread awareness and carry the education forward. Good to see everyone. Take care.